what is up?
Oh, hey.
Hey. Hey, babe.
Hey.
So we are going to, we thought it'd be fun to talk about how we met.
Yeah.
So
How
I'm
it all
Lindsay.
started. I'm Jen.
You want to start or you want me to start?
Sure.
Okay.
Just like a quick intro, I guess.
Yeah.
My name is Jen. I'm the Director of Customer Relations for Ryan and Rose. And Lindsay and I started talking briefly in 2014. I had a business called Livy Lose. I made hair bows, and I actually bought your clips for Landon, who is now 6, off of Etsy.
Yeah.
I don't think you were on Big Cartel.
Yeah, I don't think
you
so.
definitely weren't on Shopify yet.
Yeah.
I bought them off of Etsy in 2014. And then I also had a blog at the time called Fruit Snacks and Flannel.
Oh my goodness.
And I thought it was like so clever. And I had a small business feature every Thursday, I believe. And Lindsay was my first small business that I ran a story on. So I remember.
And I think you're the first blog I ever worked with. So.
And I remember like the pictures vividly. I remember the layout. I remember the questions and just, you know.
It's like a good memory. I'm like, I don't remember anything. Well, you did just go through my phone and like
was wild.
I keep all my text messages. I don't delete anything, and like just how small Landon was.
Landon was like pint size. Like he was a little meatball.
Yeah. But yeah, we actually met on Instagram, and a lot of people don't know that. Like she lives in Virginia and like runs Ryan and Rose everything contact. You're gonna talk to Jen.
Yeah.
And for so long, it was just me, you, and Whit.
Yeah,
And
for a while.
If you
Then Candace popped on.
Yeah.
And now
70 plus. I'm just kidding.
it's a lot of people, but it's so great to see the growth and like to see where everything started, how it snowballed when I started in 2018, and where everything is today is just, it's crazy.
So we started out as IG friends,
Yeah.
Instagram friends. Me, you, and Stacy. We had like a group chat where
We bounced business ideas off of each other. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, do you like these hair bows? What if I
Yeah.
added these options? Lindsay's like, I think I'm getting branded clips.
Yeah.
And we're gonna introduce engraving.
Yeah.
And it's just,
it's all in those text messages. It's crazy. I was
So
like,
many.
oh my gosh, I remember that. And I remember that.
like,
and
remember
packaging.
this clip? Remember when we started the mini? She was sitting
At the beach.
At the beach, like sun-kissed, braiding suede.
Yeah. And
And-
she even did when her bows, like I think, you did the
I did, yeah, they were
headbands.
called braid bands.
And then I did the cutie clips, and then Stacy did the bracelets.
Bracelets.
And so we were like, I don't know. It's just really cool
Yeah.
to see how far we've all three come, and just
It's wild.
yeah.
So how did Lindsay, Jen, get you to come to Ryan?
Whoa. Lindsay started asking me probably end of 2017 to start working for Ryan and Rose.
So I'd already quit my teaching
Yes,
job. Yeah.
you had quit. I was pregnant with McKinley.
Yeah.
And she kept asking.
Like 10 times.
Kept
Like,
asking.
Jen,
and I was like,
hello?
no, I'm not working for you.
So just to back up a little bit, so we were such good friends. Like when I started the website, like she did most of the writing. Like I'm not good at writing.
She basically said, look, I have the ideas. I can give them to you like bullet point, this is what I want, but you're good with words.
Yeah.
So if I give you the content, can you...
Because you were an English major, weren't you?
No.
No. Okay, I made that up.
Yeah, so she would give me the content and I just basically put the ideas and the words, kind of added some fluff in there and created the pages. And that's how we really started. And I just did it because I was a friend and I loved her and I just wanted to help. She's like, hey, I need help with this. And I was like, okay, just tell me what you want.
Yeah, I think I was going through, I used to do all the bookkeeping, and it's really funny. I mean, just the growth each year.
Yeah.
But I think I remember a few months, or like probably a year ago now, I was like, oh, it says Jen Bubble,
So crazy.
paying just a little tiny amount of money.
Yeah, and I was like, you don't have to pay me.
Yeah, it was very little, but just cool to see how, wow, like, and you probably never even imagined that you'd be
No,
like
never.
what we'd be doing now.
No.
But I had to bug her and be like, Jen, like,
Yeah.
I'm serious, like, I need you.
So finally, I'd had McKinley at the end of January in 2018, and I knew my heart wasn't in my business anymore. I knew that it was time to let that go. And then Lindsay in April had released the cutie pad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And things started to just grow.
Fast, yeah.
It was like rapid fire. And I think at that point, one day, it was different. I don't know that the words were different, but something was different. And you were like, I really need you.
Now.
No, I think you said, talk to Shane and pray about it.
Yeah, I think I remember that, yeah.
You're like, talk to Shane and pray about it, but I need you to come on board.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, whoa, something's changed. And I feel different.
Yeah. I mean, I think I always just saw you. Like, I always knew you were going to play a big role in Ryan and Rose. I don't know. I mean, I really do pray. Like I say pray about everything. Like I pray about all these decisions. And I even feel like a lot of times God puts these people in my heart, which is you. And then Candace, I text Candace out of the blue. But it's just really cool. So another interesting, fun fact about us is so we were Instagram friends. And so she won us a contest. And
I entered some random contests. So if you're ever entering random giveaways and contests on Instagram, it is possible.
Yes.
You can win.
You can.
So I won a giveaway for the Makers Summit,
Yes.
which was in Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And some of the big keynote speakers were June and January. MailChimp was there.
Yeah.
Sticker Giant was there. I think we saw it as an opportunity to go network, meet like-minded individuals that were
each other
in the same field. And I was like, well, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to ask Lindsay to come with me.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I drove down from Virginia.
I flew in.
She flew in. And that was the first time I ever met you.
Yeah, she picked me up from the airport. I remember you were in your Jeep Liberty.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey!
And then we checked into our place. And I remember thinking to myself, like, this girl's diet is wild. Because she had this like big old tote bag and she had just flown in and started whipping out like Rice Krispie treats and mini muffins. It's like snack bags.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you want a treat?
Yeah. Why not?
I was dying. And then I think we even went to McDonald's. You were like, you want crystals?
Oh, because you'd never had crystals.
No.
Yeah.
So it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because, like, I don't know, like, we just knew, I don't know, like, Brett let me fly and meet some girl, like, I met on the internet. Like, we won this contest, we're staying at this apartment complex.
So, yeah, that's another story. It was not hotel accommodations.
Yeah, yeah, that was not included. No, it was.
It was, but it was not like an actual hotel.
Yeah.
Again, another interesting.
But we have some amazing stories to tell you now.
But I remember when we got done with the event one day, we went back.
Yeah.
And you had just selected leather samples. We were creating the Jen cutie clip.
Yes. Leather.
Yeah, with the scalloped edge.
Yeah.
And you were making it's the.
She has like an amazing memory.
It's the Liberty of London one. Well, you just flew in, and not only did you have like a bag full of snacks, but you had a bag full of materials.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you get scissors past like TSA?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Like for so long, I took clips with me everywhere.
I mean, you had glue and scissors and full materials and beads.
Yeah.
You were ready to go. And
always.
You were clipping.
I was cutie clipping from the very start. Yeah. But we met some amazing people there.
We did.
Lisa, this lady like took me to the airport, didn't know me. She woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Another random person.
Another random person who is an angel. I call Lisa's my angel. But yeah, we met. That was fun. So it's just really cool, like how our stories kind of, and now she's like such an integral part. Like I can't imagine Ryan and Rose without you. Shane, I'm still waiting for y'all to move here.
One day.
Millington.
Millington.
It's calling your name, Shane. Millington. Same with Danielle, you too. So yeah. I don't know. We have.
What was Jen's original title? What was she tasked to do?
Original title was probably virtual assistant for a while.
Yeah.
Virtual assistant. So there was like a day that Lindsay basically created an email for me. She had emails forwarded. Yeah. And then I was also in charge. Well, no, I don't think the info page had been created yet. But basically I handled emails that came through.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know was that I didn't have to ask you about every, like the point of my job was to take that weight off of her shoulders.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there was like a day I asked her about 35 emails and she was like, you know, you can just answer the email.
Just do it. Just do it. That's why.
I was like, oh, okay.
But I feel like it's growing. You have to.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing back then. You know,
I
so
didn't
like
know
we
what I
had to
was
grow
doing.
into these positions,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
But
But
now
I
I feel like we
think-
think alike. Like
Yeah.
we have the, you know. this-
She'll text me and be like, you need to do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, well, it's done.
Yeah, I already did it. But we have some funny. Like, there's a lot of stories. There's probably some stories we can't tell.
Oh, there's some cringeworthy moments.
Yeah, we've learned a lot. But we like to say, like, Chick-fil-A, this is kind of like our, I don't even know when that
Definitely.
started.
It started when
After
I
I,
was-
got my foot out of my mouth. I don't know, a few times I've done that.
there's been some moments.
Yeah, we have a few jokes. So we call her Jersey Jen, and we said, "Did you get your hoops out? How many times do you think you've taken your hoops out over the last year?" We're a good balance. I
Definitely.
feel like we're two peas in I don't know, like we're
Chick-fil-A has to come out every once in a while.
yeah. So we kind of say like we like customer service like Chick-fil-A. We like products like Apple. We like to be magical like Disney. We like to be
Yeah.
givers like
Oprah.
Oprah, and we like to love like Jesus. That's kind of like our non-official slogan. But we always say Chick-fil-A, or we'll send like a gif of like
Yeah.
French fries, Chick-fil-A French fries or something. Did you Chick-fil-A them,
Yep.
Jen? Did you
I
Chick-fil-A
did.
them?
Don't
Yeah.
you worry.
Yeah, but I mean, she's so good with words, and I think it's a hard job, because me and Brett say the hardest job out of anyone at Ryan and Rose is Jen, because she has to handle the people, and some people are amazing, and like 99.9% of
Yeah.
the cutie community in our
Definitely.
family are amazing, and we love you, but there's just always that 1% or those harder people that you're never gonna please.
I think it just also boils down to when I have to say no. I don't like to say no,
Right.
but when I have to put my foot down and say no, I'm abiding by company policy.
Yeah. I think,
And-
and it's like there's that line of being taken advantage of
Yes.
and being like overly nice, and we try to always.
And every situation is honestly different. Any
Yeah.
email that comes through, and I try my absolute best. But I've been called names. Like I think
Oh
it
my
was
gosh, I've been called so
last
many
week
names.
or the week before that somebody was calling
Oh.
me names in another group. And
Yeah.
had that been probably 2 years ago, I would have been. And don't get me wrong, words hurt.
Yeah, they do.
But I was like, what
Okay.
are you gonna do?
yeah,
I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
yeah. She's my cup of tea. Yeah.
I do the best that I can, and
But I think the biggest thing is like we're really big on like accountability and learning
Very
from
big.
our experiences, and I feel like that's what we've done the most is like we learn from it and we move on and we're
every
better.
situation.
Yeah, and we're not perfect, but we sure try to do our best, and
Yeah.
she always does. But yeah,
Oh, I
it's
appreciate that.
she's amazing.
How has Jen changed during this process? In just these few years, starting out, not knowing how to respond to things, to now where she is.
I think now, where before she was kind of like iffy, like like asking me all this questions, and I love that. Like I love that you were willing to like, okay, this is your company. Like I want to, like do it how you would want it. But I think now we have the same. We've worked together so long. We have that same like-minded. Like I already, it's kind of like what would Jesus do? What would Lindsay do? Like she already knows. She's already learned from past experience. But I love that she knows who she is, and she knows what she believes in, and she's amazing. Like she's Jen. She's Jersey Jen. Like that's like my superhero. Like who I want to be when I grow up. But like she I think just the confidence, and like she knows what she's doing, and she's killing it, and she she has like 10 kids and an amazing and a husband, and she's still like rocking up. She has four kids. But she does it, and she does it beautifully, and I don't think you get enough credit for all you do.
Oh, thank you.
So, but I think just in me, like I've had to grow in all my roles, and you have too, and it's just I don't know. I feel like with Jen, she's really been good at anything she's done. Like, but you've had so many hats. You've had wholesale, you've had customer relations,
website.
She was the reason we created the Q2 community and having, we were like, we ended up taking
Info
that,
page.
We took that away from you, and I know that hurt, but we saw bigger things for Jen,
Well, I think you talked about it before. I don't know if it was now or in the Target video. You talked about flexibility,
yeah.
and I think that is one of the key
for working for us, yeah.
For the company. It's not anybody's individual role. Everybody has to be flexible.
Right.
So I've kind of been given tasks. I cannot speak. Tasks along the way. And yeah, it's just adapting to them and taking roles here and doing them. Taking roles here, doing them.
And I probably couldn't list everything you've done from info page to lives. Somebody this week was like, I want to see Jen back on lives,
Yeah, well, I tried that this morning.
But like you and me, like both did, y'all have done so much, and even like a lot of this stuff, like y'all probably don't even realize behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like from wholesale to the
Product
website,
listings.
like people don't realize she's the one that adds all the products every time we have a launch.
Well, that's very much a team effort because
Yes.
it's photographers and it's inventory and it's all these other aspects. But yeah, I add the variants to the back end of the website. I add discounts to the back end of the website, all that good stuff.
Yeah. I think she finally sees what I saw in her years ago, which I think I'm very proud, but she's awesome. She's like, you're okay. You're
Hug time,
honey. Hug time.
Now, how has Lindsay changed with time?
Oh man, Lindsay has 20/20 vision. Lindsay has grown as an individual, as a leader, so much. It's kind of crazy. I think also recognizing how you can't do it all.
Oh, I can't.
But she
delegate.
wanted to do it all for a really long time.
I mean, we were talking about yesterday, just like, I used to take the pictures. I used to do my videos.
She did
I used
everything.
to like list the, figure out Amazon. I was the one that shipped. I was the one that made. I was the one that engraved. Like I think I've really done every aspect of the job.
Every single aspect. She did the listing. She did everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's recognizing that you can't do it all and that you have an incredible team and incredible assets readily available.
Yes.
And not taking advantage, but using them.
Building them up.
Yes.
Yeah. And putting people, I think the hardest thing for me was like, okay, we have this person and I know they're amazing, but like, okay, you're okay at this job, but being willing to like, okay, we're gonna move you over here.
Because we know you're gonna excel in this area.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of moving with Ryan and Rose.
Yeah.
But I think for me, also, like, I don't know. Brett always kids, he's like, the 2019 Lindsay is way different than 2020 Lindsay.
It's just, you've had to grow with the business.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you hadn't grown in your personal knowledge of business, then you wouldn't be where you're at today.
Yeah. And I feel like Michael, who's like a family friend and financial advisor, like he taught me like how valuable my time is and how valuable like, my knowledge is, and like being able to utilize that, so that helps me to delegate. But then, also know I'm not gonna, I was really used to be, really nice Lindsay and try to beat around the bush and like try not to hurt people's feelings. And it's like, no, like my time is precious and so is their time is precious too, so like I'm gonna be honest. And that's what Lindsay is now, is 2020 honest Lindsay. So I think that's just part of growth and part of knowing who I am and what I want for the business.
But I definitely think that's been the biggest change, is just putting your foot down. This is the company. This is our mission statement. These are our core values. These are our beliefs. And if you can't meet every single one of these expectations, then
you can't work here.
Yeah.
So, growth. It's a beautiful thing.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's very,
hard.
very difficult. Growth and balance are probably two of the hardest. And I mean balance in every sense of it. And I know that you feel the same way that I do. Work balance, home balance, and then the work-home balance.
Yeah.
it's constantly evolving, constantly changing, but I think we've both grown as the business has grown.
Oh, yeah.
And our families have grown,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
It's awesome.
yeah.
10 kids later.
10 kids later.
That was just a joke. That was just a joke.
What do you guys enjoy most about, obviously the growth and everything that's happening, but enjoy most about working together?
I enjoy Lindsay's positivity.
Oh.
Everything has a positive aspect. I think I love my family, but sometimes there was always a negative spin on things. So it's hard because I feel like that kind of gets ingrained in your, you know.
Yeah. I would say honesty. Like, I feel like I think that's why we complete each other so well, because like you're just she's gonna tell me how it is, and
she asks my opinion, and I give it to her, and I know it's not gonna be the same as her opinion.
Yeah.
But she asked me my opinion.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, and how we think like me, you, and Danielle work so well together is because like we take constructive criticism, or even not even constructive criticism.
You just apply whatever.
We're honest, but it's a friendly and it's a supportive. Like we know each of us want to be better. Like
we never take anything personally.
It's never defensive, or it's just, hey, how can we do this better, or how can we? So I feel like we're a really good support and team.
I would agree.
So I'd definitely say like honesty. Like Jersey Jen's gonna tell me how it is, and she's not gonna, keep back. That's why I love her. Like it's real. And I think you've rubbed up on me to be like, Lindsay's gonna be honest, and she's gonna tell you how she feels, and she's not gonna beat around the bush anymore. So 2020 Lindsay.
2020 vision.
All right, so Jen has had a lot of different hats, a lot of different roles. Now that there's so much happening, Target, new warehouse, everything, what's next for Jen? You convinced her to come work for you in the first place. What's Jen doing next?
My dream is for her to live here. I'm just saying, Shane. I'm just saying. No, but it works. I feel like the long distance works, and it's beautiful, and maybe it works better that I don't know. Like I don't know. But I would love for her to live here. Sometimes I told you I feel guilty, like her and Danielle aren't here to like be, and so many of the other team members, like I wish they could be a part of it every day.
But I never feel like I'm missing out on anything. And I think that's really important to know, is that she's created an environment, and she's given us these roles and the independence within each of our roles to succeed. And she's given us the tools that we need in order to complete these roles and these tasks independently. And she praises us, and she gives us feedback, and we apply it, and we learn from mistakes. And I think that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. We never never say never. I don't know. Like she's just like we feel like right now, like with giving Target, and like we want her to be where you love. Like
I love the emails. I love the customer interaction.
Yeah.
I love having
she's so good at it.
I love having the opportunity to also like turn somebody's day around with something as simple as an email exchange.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Which I think is also like hard about the job.
Like Brett said, she has the hardest job is emails.
I think it's hard because you never know what somebody else is going through.
Yeah.
You never know, like, if they got missed instead of petal, but they're going through
a divorce,
or finding out somebody had cancer or their child is sick. Like, so that one little itty bitty mistake may have set them off.
Yeah.
So it's having the opportunity to make something right, to explain something a little bit further, to answer a question, to kind of turn somebody's day around. And I think that's really special. That's really, I get a lot of gratification out of being able to do that.
It's almost like a goal. I feel like, yes, I won her over.
And then when all of my emails, when my unread box is at 0, I'm like,
I get a screenshot.
Every time.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like she could do anything. So I don't know. But I would love to have her here. But then maybe not. She makes it work wherever she's at. So.
She gives us the opportunity to. Like I've been able to come to town a few times, and it's been awesome. I work while I'm in town, and you know, I step away from the babies for a little bit and then work a little bit and go back home, and everything kind of falls back into place.
Yeah, and we're grateful for Shane for letting you do that.
He's so great.
Yes.
Shane, the kids, they're awesome.
Yeah. So that was fun. I hope you learned a little bit about me and Jen's relationship. Do I call? I don't think have I ever called you Jennifer?
No.
No, she's Jen.
No, but people call me Jenny all the time.
Really?
Yes. In emails.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's done a lot. I hope this makes you see like how she's had her hand in like everything, and she's like such a big part of Ryan and Rose.
I believe in the company. I believe in Lindsay. I believe in the train. And
she eats, sleeps, and breathes R&R.
I do.
You really do.
I do.
So, anyways, let's dance this thing out. Get my chair.